Long ago, in a beautiful faraway village, there lived a hardworking farmer named Yusuf. He was one of the most respected farmers in the village. He owned large fields, a cattle farm, and a beautiful orchard filled with many fruit trees. Every day, Yusuf woke up before sunrise and worked with his workers from morning until evening. He carefully looked after his crops, animals, and land. He never became lazy and always gave his best. Because of his dedication, Yusuf's farm became the finest in the whole village. His fields produced the best crops, his cows and sheep were healthy, and his orchard grew the sweetest fruits. Every month, a village fair was held where people came to sell their goods. Yusuf's fruits, vegetables, and farm products were always the most popular. Everyone admired his success. The villagers often said, Yusuf is very fortunate. His sons will inherit such a wonderful farm when he is gone. They will have a great future. But Yusuf had a hidden worry in his heart. He had two sons. His elder son was Ayan, and his younger son was Rayan. Ayan was brave and loved adventure. He wanted to become a soldier and serve his country. He enjoyed learning about weapons and fighting skills. Rayan loved music. He enjoyed playing musical instruments and dreamed of becoming a great musician. Yusuf often thought, I have worked my whole life to build this farm, but my sons do not love farming. Who will take care of this land after me? He wished that at least one of his sons would understand the importance of his work. One day, Yusuf called both of his sons and asked, My sons, what do you want to do with your lives? Ayan quickly replied, Father, I want to join the army. I want to protect my country and make you proud. Yusuf smiled and said, That is a noble dream, my son. Work hard and achieve your goal. Then he looked at Rayan and asked, And what about you, Rayan? Rayan replied, Father, I love music. I want to become a musician, but I know I need to practice more. Yusuf nodded and said, You should follow your dream too. But while you are here, please help me with the farm. Soon, Ayan left home and joined the army. Rayan stayed with his father. Sometimes he helped with farm work, but most of the time he was busy dreaming about his musical future. Years passed peacefully. Then one day, Yusuf became seriously ill. His condition became worse, and soon he realized that his time was near. He called Rayan close to him and said, My son, I am leaving everything in your care. Look after this farm, the animals, and the land. Remember that you are also protecting your brother Ayan's share. When he returned, give him his share safely. These were Yusuf's last words. Soon after, Yusuf passed away. Rayan was very sad because he had lost his father. He promised himself that he would respect his father's wish and take care of everything. For some times, Rayan worked hard. He looked after the fields, animals, and orchard. But slowly, his old habits returned. He began thinking, the farm has always given good crops. The animals are already healthy. The workers know their jobs. Everything will continue without my attention. He started spending more time enjoying music and meeting friends. Slowly, Rayan became careless. The workers noticed that the master was no longer watching them. They also became lazy. The crops were not cared for properly. The animals were ignored. Fruits became ripe and fell from trees. Many farm products were wasted. Thieves started stealing animals, and even some guards began taking advantage of the situation. But Rayan knew nothing about these problems. He was enjoying his life and spending the money his father has left behind. He had many friends because he still had wealth. But slowly, the money started running out. One night, Rayan had a strange dream. He saw his father Yusuf standing in front of him. Yusuf said, Remember my last words, my son. Do not forget your brother's share. Protect what belongs to him, or give him even more if you can. Then Yusuf disappeared. Rayan woke up suddenly. He felt relieved that his father had not become angry with him. But then he remembered his promise. He decided to check the condition of the farm when he saw shocked him. Ryan walked through his farm and looked around carefully. His heart sank when he saw the condition of everything. The beautiful farm that his father had built with much effort was no longer the same. The fields were not producing as many crops as before. The animals were weak because they were not being cared for properly. The orchard was damaged, and there was hardly any money left. Ryan became very worried. He thought, what will Ayan think when he returns? I was supposed to protect his share. He may never forgive me. He may even take legal action against me. Fear filled his heart. He went to his friends and asked them for advice and help, but instead of helping him, they laughed. Why are you worried? They said. Your brother has been gone for so long. Maybe he will never return. Just enjoy whatever you have left. But Ryan did not feel right. He did not want anything bad to happen to his brother. He wanted Ayan to return safely, but he was ashamed to show him what had happened to their father's farm. He walked around the village searching for a solution. The villagers looked at him and said, We warned you many times. You ignored us and thought everything would take care of itself. Now you must face the result. Nobody wanted to help. Among the people standing, there was a young shepherd boy named Hamza. Everyone considered him a simple and ordinary boy, but he had a kind heart. Hamza stepped forward and said, Master Ryan, why don't you visit Bibi Zainab, the old woman who lives in the mountains? People say she knows magic. Maybe she can help you bring back your lost fortune. Ryan had nothing else to try. So he decided to follow Hamza's advice. He climbed the mountain and searched for Bibi Zainab. After a long journey, he finally reached her small cave like house. The old woman was very old and weak. She could hardly move, but her mind was still sharp. She listened carefully as Rayan told her the entire story. He said, Please help me, Bibi Zainab. I have lost everything my father worked so hard to build. I want to restore my farm and make my father proud. The old woman remained silent for a while and thought deeply. Then he went inside her small house. After some time, she returned with a small box in her hands. It was a strange looking box. It was locked tightly and covered with strong brass strips. There was a tiny hole on the top. He handed the box to Rayan and said, This is a magic box. Every morning before sunrise, take 1 grain of magic dust from this hole and spread it around all corners of your land. You will soon see the magic happen. Rayan's eyes filled with hope. He thanked Bibi Zainab again and again and quickly returned home. The next morning, Rayan woke up earlier than ever before. He took the magic box and went to his fields. He carefully followed the old woman's instructions. He shook a small amount of dust from the box and spread it around his land. While doing this, he started noticing many problems. He saw that some crops were still waiting to be harvested. Some harvested crops were laying on the ground and had not been stored properly. Then he noticed his workers sleeping instead of working. Rayan became angry. He shouted, Wake up! Why are you wasting time while the farm is suffering? Go and complete your duties properly. The workers were shocked. They looked at each other and whispered, The master is finally working in the fields. May God help us. After that, Rayan went to the cattle area. He found that the animals were not being looked after properly. He ordered the workers to clean the sheds, feed the animals, and take better care of them. Then he visited the orchard. He saw many fruits falling from trees and being wasted. He immediately told the workers to collect the fruits and protect the trees. From that day, Rayan changed his lifestyle. Every morning before sunrise, he took the magic box and walked around his farm. He spread the magic dust, but at the same time, he worked hard and solved every problem he found. He checked the crops, cared for the animals, guided the workers, and protected his property. Day by day, farm started improving. The fields became green again, the animals became healthy, the orchard became beautiful once more. Ryan smiled and thought, the magic box is truly working, but he did not understand the real truth. The magic was not inside the box. The real magic was his own hard work, responsibility, and care. Because Ryan started paying attention to his farm, everything slowly returned to its former beauty. Years passed, but Ayan never returned from the army. Nobody knew what had happened to him. Ryan continued managing the farm with honesty and dedication. Later, he married a kind woman, and they had two sons. Many years passed, and when Ryan became old, he knew his time was near. He called his sons and gave them the magic box. He said, "This box brought happiness and success back to our family. Always remember its importance." After Ryan passed away, his sons became curious. They wanted to see the magic inside the box. They carefully opened the lock, but they were surprised. Inside the box, there was no magic dust. There was only some sand and a small note. They opened the note and read, "The magic is not inside the box. The magic is in the master's eyes. A property grows only when its owner gives it attention, care, and hard work." The sons finally understood their father's secret. The box was never magical. The true magic was responsibility and effort. Moral of the story: hard work, care, and responsibility are the real magic that brings success in life.